going on? It's Jamar here, Vegas Sense. And I know it's been about a week or so since my last video. Just been kind of busy, been trying to come up with different concepts that I want to do as far as new videos go. And then also too, I've been working a lot with the editing program that I've been using, Adobe Premiere. So just been trying to learn how to use that a little bit better to try to improve, the way that my videos look. So with that being said, I got a comparison video here that I'm gonna do, and this one is between YSL Y Eau de Parfum, and we're gonna do Scentual Obsessions version of Y. And I believe this is their interpretation of the Eau de Parfum, because it pretty much smells exactly like the Eau de Parfum. I haven't smelled the original Eau de Toilette yet, so I can't really say if this is closer to the Eau de Toilette or if it's closer to the Eau de Parfum. Who knows? But yeah, man, this is basically like my little comparison video that I'm gonna be doing here. So first things first, just spraying these two, I get a difference, when I spray these on. The YSL Y, when I spray this on, and I'll just kind of do this, let it air out a little bit. So the main thing that I really smell is like the ginger and the apple, mixed in with a little bit of that bergamot on the top notes. But I really like the opening of this particular fragrance a lot. Like, I think if this fragrance smelled like this the whole way through, man, I'm telling you, this would probably be one of my favorite fragrances, especially like if it was strong and it projected and it lasted. But now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna spray on the Scentual Obsessions YSL Y. Okay. I'm gonna let it air out a little bit. And what I'll say is, it smells just like the YSL Y, the actual original YSL Y. The difference though is, to me, this smells a little bit more dull up top, whereas the YSL Y is a bit sharper. Yeah, the YSL Y is definitely a bit sharper up top. So if you're somebody that thinks the opening of YSL Y is, I guess, too strong or too much, then you would probably enjoy the Scentual Obsessions version. Now, I think probably the reason why this version smells a little bit, as I said, dull compared to the original YSL Y is probably because it's a higher oil concentration. So I need to ask Kevin over there at Scentual Obsessions. I need to ask him, like, what is like the official concentration of these fragrances, because I don't know if it's like Eau de Parfum or if it's extrait de parfum or just parfum. Like, I don't know what the actual concentration is of these particular fragrances, but typically when I spray them on, I do get like a nice little sheen, and I don't know if the camera can pick that up or not, but you get a nice little oily sheen that kind of stays on your skin, and it does take a little while for it to sort of dry down. And as you can see here, you can see the YSL Y a little bit on me, but not so much. But what I will say is, The YSL I would say for probably the first, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so, definitely smells sharper and stronger than the Scentual Obsessions. The Scentual Obsessions, I feel like I really kind of have to dig deep to really smell this. And I know I wore it to work the other day, and I mean, after just a couple of hours, I felt like it was kind of gone on my skin. Didn't really last that long. But not to say that, you know, the YSL is any different on my skin. I don't know if it's olfactory fatigue, like if my nose is just going completely nose blind to this scent. But at least for me, on my skin, I don't really get good performance out of either one of these. The YSL I would say it's the same thing as the Scentual Obsessions. I probably smell this for like the first, I don't know, maybe 30 to 45 minutes or so. And then after that, I may get little small wafts of it, but it really doesn't last too long on my skin. I would say maybe 2.5 hours max, and then it's like it's gone. And like I said, I mean, if this performed like, I don't know, like a Rasasi Hawas, where it's strong, it lasts long, it does really good in the heat, you know, and it smelled like the opening, I would say, you know, the whole way through, this would be a really great scent. But like I said, it just doesn't last too long on me. And I mean, I've tried spraying this, you know, this little sample on me, almost dropped it. I've tried spraying this sample on me a bunch of times, like, you know, 8 to 10 sprays or so, and same thing, it goes away after a couple of hours, and then after that, it's like I really don't smell it all like that. So I mean, just to give you like a breakdown of the notes here, you know, as I mentioned before, we got bergamot, ginger, green apple in the top notes, and then in the mid, you have sage, you have juniper berries, and then you have geranium. And then in the base, you have vetiver, you have cedar, you have amberwood, tonka bean, and you have olivibunum, or however you say that. So yeah, I mean, I guess at least for me, for the most part with this fragrance, I mainly just kind of smell like the top notes for a little while, and then going towards like maybe an hour to an hour and a half into it, it just becomes like a really light, woody skin scent, at least for me. And then after like 2 to 2.5 hours, like I said, on my skin, it's pretty much completely gone. With the Scentual Obsessions, I would say that just smelling me side by side at the points where we're at right now, and I mean, these have been on my skin for probably about 7 minutes or so now. I would say that the YSL this one it's still holding on to the opening. So I still smell the bergamot, the ginger, the green apple. However, with the Scentual Obsessions, now I'm starting to smell like the sage and the geranium and like the vetiver. And it kind of almost smells like shower jelly and like soapy. So this kind of, it goes sort of straight into like the mid to the base, I would say, fairly quickly. Because I'm not smelling any of the bergamot or the ginger or anything really from the top. Yeah, I'm definitely smelling like more of the mid and the base of YSLY with this. And you know, again, like I said in previous videos with Scentual Obsessions, their particular interpretations of fragrances tend to focus on a certain part of whatever fragrance they're trying to mimic. So they're pretty linear for the most part. You know, with that being said, so it's like, you know, when you're purchasing one of these fragrances, don't expect, I guess, to get like the full transformation that you would get with whatever fragrance that, you know, it's trying to mimic. Like I said, it picks one part of a fragrance, whether that be the opening. Like I said, their interpretation of Dior Sauvage is pretty much like the opening of Sauvage all the way through, and doesn't really focus that much on like the ambroxan and the woodiness and the dry down. And then like with this one more so smells like the dry down of YSLY, where, you know, it's kind of soapy, kind of you know, floral and woody. So it's really, it's not bad at all. You know, I would say if you don't really like the dry down of YSLY, then you won't like this interpretation of it, because that's really all you're getting with this is the dry down of YSLY. But you know, again, for $25 for, you know, a 2-ounce bottle of this, you know, I'm gonna always say that this definitely is, it's worth the purchase for sure. You know, you're not really getting full bottles of really anything for $25. You know, whether it's from, you know, a designer, you know, fragrance company, or if it's from, you know, a clone house like Alexandria or Dua. You know, their smallest size bottles are still more than what, you know, a 2-ounce bottle from Scentual Obsessions costs. So, you know, again, you just kind of have to, I would say maybe try to get some samples of, you know, their fragrances, or fragrances that, you know, you plan on purchasing from them, and see what part of the fragrance they interpret. Because this is what I'll say, even though they're very linear and they sort of focus on one part of the fragrance, so you don't get the full experience that you would get from the real thing, whatever part of the fragrance that they are trying to emulate or mimic, they do it like spot on, like really spot on, like really spot on. So, you know, take that and kind of, you know, make your own decision based off of that. I do have, you know, a few more videos coming from Scentual Obsessions. You know, Kevin over there has been really good to me, you know, as far as sending me samples, especially like this. So thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you. And you know, again, I'll be having more videos coming from them for sure. All right. So that was Jamar here, Vegas Sense. I'll see you on the next video.